There's us back again with another review, and today I'm talking about the Innokin iclear 30. There she is. It is a dual coil, low resistance clearomizer running at 1.5 ohms. Now I've currently got it on a Pro Vari running at 3.7 volts. So if you don't have a VV mod device or you're on an Ego, you know this is how it's going to be. Look, straight off the bat, guys, I've got to tell you, this thing vapes like a fucking boss. This thing is absolutely fantastic. Now, let me just take it off there real quick and explain what it is. So you have 16 wicks running from the coil, which at first, before I even bought it, I thought that was a bit excessive. But it turns out that is absolutely fantastic for someone like me who uses a 50-50 blend, a PG-VG mix. So these wicks absolutely absorb that liquid, no problem. It's never dry. You'll never get a dry hit ever. This thing is always wet, ready to fire. So that's great. Now, when you initially get this, it is advertised for 3 mil, which it does. But when you initially fill it, these wicks, the 16 wicks, absorb it so well that once you fill it to 3 mil, it will actually reduce back down to about 1.5 mil. So you'll need to put another 1.5 in there, 1.5 mil of juice. So that's great. Straight off the bat, before I even started vaping on it, I knew that this was a great clearomizer. Okay, now the ace up the sleeve is this sort of pivotal drip tip that they advertise. Okay, now it sounds good in theory, but in practice, you know, not so much, because I'll tell you why. You know, I'm left-handed, and basically, you know, I've always sort of had straight drip tips, like probably most other vapors, and you sort of know where to put the PV device at what angle and things like that. So, you know, like this. You know, so they advertise, you know, that, you know, you can pivot it. So I'm left-handed, so I would put it this way. And so I suppose the right way to do it would be like this. Now, of course, that's great in theory, but what happens with me, I don't know about you, is I might put my device down on the table, and then I'll go do something, then I'll come and pick it back up, and then I've actually got my thumb on the button instead of my pointing finger. So what will happen is I go to take a drag, and it misses my lips because it's all the way over here now, whereas it should have been over here. Okay, so you know, it's good in theory, this pivotal sort of drip tip, but in practice, you'll find yourself, I don't know about you, but with me, I end up, in the end, I put it straight. So, you know, it's great to have the option. It really is. And maybe you will find a great use for this sort of pivotal sort of drip tip. But all in all, for me, I keep it straight, because I've actually had this one case when I've had it, you know, sort of pivoted the way for my pointing finger, and I vape on it like this, and then I've dropped it down, and I've picked it back up again, and I actually hit my teeth, because I was expecting it over here, and it came over here. So, you know, it's a great, you know, I applaud Innokin for making the, you know, the innovation to sort of make something else of the drip tip. But in practice, it doesn't really work so well. I always end up putting it back straight. So I have that muscle memory of what angle to bring my PV back up to my mouth, okay? Now, let me just take it off there real quick again. So this is actually really, really cool for vaping. This thing has a massive throat hit, great flavor, massive vapor production. Now, it's built like a tank, and it looks like a tank, and it fires like a tank. Unfortunately, it also has the appeal of a tank. It's very, very industrial looking. It's to me, it's not you know, an eye pleaser. It's not eye candy to look at this. It's actually one of the probably you know, it's not a very good looking clearomizer in my in my experience anyway. It's sort of very, very plain looking. There's no you know, polished sort of stainless steel on it. It's very, very matte and very broad. You know, you can see sort of, if I compare it to, say, the Bogue F16, you know, in my opinion, the Bogue F16, you know, looks better in general, but, you know, the way that this one vapes is very, very, very good, very superior. It is. So what I'll do, I'll just put it back on there, and then what we'll do is we'll just up the volts a bit. We'll put it to 4.2. Okay, and this is running at 1.5 ohms. Wow. Look, that has a massive throat hit, a very intense throat hit. I'm so surprised of the throat hit that this clearomizer produces. It is absolutely fantastic, and I would recommend that you go out and buy this. Now, the way you fill these up is this drip tip here. You actually hold it from the sort of ball bearing part and sort of unscrew it there. Okay, and now you can see the tank and the atomizer exposed, and you will need, you might be able to fit a little bottle in there, but I'd probably recommend a blunt syringe to get right in there. Okay, and you can buy replacement coils. The replacement coils cost about $3. Okay, and now there's a grip at the bottom here, and this is actually where you will unscrew it, and you can pull this out, and you unscrew the actual whole entire atomizer there and replace it with your new one. Okay, so it's great. It's fairly easy to use. It is. I probably would recommend that you have a blunt syringe to fill these up. It does seem a bit more sort of practical to use. Okay, so all in all, guys, this is probably one of the best clearomizers out on the market, in my opinion. I think this is an absolute monster for throat hit. I think it's great flavor, and I definitely recommend you go out and buy these. Now, as the unit itself will set you back about $13, okay? But as I said before, once you buy the unit, you can buy the replacement coils for about $3, okay? So that's great. You know, this is definitely one of the best on the market, and I'd give this a 9 out of 10, hands down. You know, it's great that they sort of made this sort of, they had the innovation to sort of make a pivotal drip tip, but in practice, in my opinion, it's not practical, and you'll find yourself sort of swiveling it left to right, and if you're like me, you'll end up just putting it up straight like that in the end. Okay, so that's great, guys. I guess that's enough about this one. I'll give it one more vape and I'll get out of here. Wow. Wow, that's great. It's really, really good, guys. All right, I'll check you next time, guys. Thanks for hanging with me. See ya.